Hello, everybody. I'm Steve Peterson.
And he's Steve Peterson. He's back.
I'm back.
He's back. He's locked and loaded. Oh, thank goodness.
Wait, what's your name? You got to say
Oh,
your
I'm
name.
Jack.
Oh,
Hinkle,
come
but-
on. We need to give it up for Jack. I'd just like to say that clap was actually kind of in time, and the E-flat concert on Anchors Away, we were okay. We're not okay?
We're not close. I don't think so.
Are we
You and I were together. I don't think. Yeah, we're usually sitting somewhere between a D and an E flat these days, but you know how
Okay,
it be.
Well,
It's so cold in the E flat.
this could possibly be the least productive podcast you've ever listened to in your life. So if you have something better to do, you might want to just stop right now and do that, because this could be your walking through the field of loneliness.
Walking through the field of loneliness.
Okay, we're back. We are back. If you're watching any video clip, we're back in my office, and it is now 10:22 a.m. Friday, May 30th.
School's out.
School's out for the
summer. All we have to do. I don't know why I'm speaking so loud.
Yeah,
I
you
just
should,
I'm letting
because
it out.
that's the way you
All
feel.
we have to do is sign our grade verification forms, play the little high school scavenger hunt, and we are
done.
out of here. And we're gonna go
We're
eat
done.
pizza
Yes.
at noon as a staff, and then not
Yes.
see each other for like a month.
That's right.
That's not. It's really more like a week for some of us, but you know how it be. Because grad parties, moving around in the upstairs. Okay, so that's why if Steve's talking about not being productive, it's probably collectively in this school there's about 6 brain cells left because they've all been devoured in the last 3 weeks of school. Dude, the last week of school, it's kind of fun. It's kind of painful because most of us are not doing much. I think yesterday,
Preach it.
I mean, we're 6 classes. Now, the finals week, it gets all jacked up with schedules because some classes are extended because of final periods. But, like, you're still teaching, like, 7 hours a day.
Yes.
And when I say teaching, I mean I'm in the same room with kids.
Right.
There is not much educational value going on in the
Because if we,
I don't know why I'm saying this on an educational podcast. I'm just, like, outing our department right now.
well,
We play games.
there's end of year concerts.
That's true. We wrote it pretty like up to the end with Jazz Cafe this year.
You're right. We had a concert on Jazz Cafe was on May 27th.
That was last Friday.
And our last band concert was on May 12th. And after that, one of the concert bands went into commencement band mode to get ready for commencement, which is next week.
The other two are productive.
But then you and your band did your sight reading traditions.
And you did make guest appearances
Yeah.
for those. That was good.
I don't know if we've talked about. I think we've talked about that.
We talked about it maybe a little bit last year, but we also were doing a little marching music. Like,
Yeah.
we handed that out to the kids. No, very little director led. It was like, here's the music, go work on it.
Yeah.
We'll come back and play it together. And then, of course, the actual productive things which needed to happen. We did like an instrument storage room purge.
Yeah, these guys, Nikki Nals, Brian Golden, and Jack Hinkle, it was like a horror movie. I mean, I went into the dressing room, which is usually clean as a whistle, and there's like...
It's just like cases from I don't even know when. There was, we have a guitar case in there. It looks like it would hold like an airsoft gun. Like it's that kind of material,
Okay,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And the case is like beaten to shreds. And I was like, what could be in here? Shocker, nothing. There was nothing in that case. And I was like, why has this been in the instrument
Yes.
storage room for 40 years?
So they've taken it and probably gotten rid of 40, 50 instruments.
Oh yeah, like
That-
6 giant speakers that weigh as much as me.
Yep. Just things that are obsolete. They're not in the workforce anymore.
A flute that looks like it probably had COVID itself. You like look at it and you start
It was like
coughing.
white and
You're like,
fuzzy. Yeah, there's some things that went through the mold cycle. Just some old brass instruments that have, right?
I cleaned out. I was cleaning out parts of my desk. Literal battery acid from an old Dr. Beat. Like I've never
In your
used.
office?
Yeah, it was definitely not put there by me. It was like from users past.
Probably me. Yeah.
But I opened it up. There was like a Dr. Beat in there and like 2 AAA batteries, and one it was like little like it's like that
Little
snow
science, yes.
material,
Which
and
is
it's
battery
like,
acid.
oh.
Right.
Yeah. So it's cleaning time.
It's cleaning time, closing time.
Nice.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah.
what we've been doing.
Yeah, in the instrument storage room, which is obviously the home of a very expensive inventory,
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
school instruments that has been upgraded because there's
Ooh,
better
yeah.
space and it's better
Better
organized.
and more instruments. We've gotten instruments throughout the years, and we've never trimmed the fat.
Right.
So,
So
now it's time.
that's good. And Jack has a new system on the door to
Yeah.
the music
QR
instrument
code,
room,
baby.
a QR code, so kids take care of all the details on their phone as they walk out with an instrument. So that will be helping you guys.
Yes. So, okay, we should talk about one more thing. Okay, we should talk about like the last days of school. I think we should talk about psychiatrist on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think teachers would appreciate that.
Very appropriate.
Then we should do some updates,
Okay.
and then maybe we go into more fun things or talk about
maybe we take callers.
it's about time. Okay, so
Okay.
in the end of the school year, all of the groups did their big performances, right? So the jazz band's been like going hard for the last forever. And then Friday was our last concert. The last 3 days, we pretty much do nothing. Instrument turn in, locker clean out, and we talk. But Steve has a game. I don't know where you learned it, but it's called Psychiatrist.
Yes.
You should tell us a little
Okay.
bit, Steve.
So this is a great game if you have like 10 people or more. Okay. But what you do is you send one person out of the room. They are not on the inside joke. And the inside joke is that in the circle, you identify as the person on the left of you. And so when the person comes back in, they have been told that the group has a disorder, but they are asked to ask questions of the group, but you're supposed to answer like you're the personality on the left. And so, which comes across, it can really create some hilarious twists and turns. So like you get a band student that's coming in that with the jazz band, and they know everybody, and the common thing is you got to work through psychiatrists. The common thing is they'll go, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to ask, but you just encourage them to just ask questions about their life and common things. So you might get into a situation like, I play saxophone, but I'm sitting next to a flute player. So they say, Steve, what instrument do you play? I play the flute. And then everybody laughs because
they're in on the joke.
Right. Or somebody identifies as me and talks about their wife.
Yeah.
Right. So you get all these things that are just like don't really make sense until the psychiatrist, the person in the middle, like does a series of questions and kind of stays with it.
And then the fun twist is if you ever feel stuck or you want to switch it up, you can just say psychiatrist, and then everyone switches seats. And kids love sitting next to the teacher.
They do.
Because you can troll pretty hard.
Yeah,
it's pretty
cool.
fun. And they do some pretty funny stuff.
Yeah.
So so the kids that sit next to me, they do this. They're like
yeah, you take on the physical.
Where's my coffee?
You take on the physical
Yeah,
mannerisms of your person.
I always like asking whoever's like supposed to be me, can I go to the bathroom? That's like my favorite thing to do, and then it makes everyone laugh every time. But there's so that's like the way we typically play it in jazz bands because everyone does know each other pretty well, and we can make that stuff happen. But I've done some variations with it, like
what
we did yesterday. If you cross your legs, you lie, but if you're sitting normally, you just tell the truth.
Oh my gosh!
Which
Did
gets
you do
pretty
that in band or jazz band?
both. We did that in both jazz bands, and it was pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
Did it work? Did the kids get to it?
It works because the kids start getting mean because they're lying.
Yeah.
Like they'll cross their legs and be like, I hate you or something. And everyone laughs. But the psychiatrist gets really offended. They're like, what did I do? And it's pretty fun for that. And then we did another one. This is a good one. Whoever the psychiatrist is talking to, people on either side get really itchy.
Oh, I remember you did that before.
I also asked ChatGPT for some other ones.
Oh, you did?
So and ChatGPT had some funny ones, like you have to say a number in every response, or you have to start with a vowel or something. It's
okay.
Like it's pretty fun. So we did a lot of that, and the kids kind of are into it, and it's pretty fun. It's a good time.
So that is definitely a good group activity.
Yes.
And it's hard you can't really do it with people that you just met. Like if you went to a party and you just all met, that doesn't really work.
Doesn't hit.
But in a classroom, that's kind of like the perfect thing.
Yes.
And to get the teacher involved in that. And so there's a lot of variations and
Mhm.
just problem solving, and it just makes everybody laugh, which is
Good
the
time.
goal of it. And it's a good way to end the school year. And the kids want to play it. Like they wanted to play psychiatrist, but I was like, a lot of them have been through it for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
It's like it works better with the younger kids because they don't know it
They
as
don't know
well.
it as well.
Yeah. But that'd be a good thing for marching band too.
Oh yeah, and
Right?
those
With your
those game
sections?
times.
Yep.
Yeah. That's fun. Yeah.
Identify as somebody else and kind of throw everybody for a loop.
So that's that.
Yep.
Okay, Steve. Updates.
Okay, so this is Steve Peterson talking to you from the Director of Music office at Concord High School. I am transitioning out of this office. Actually, I took a different job. So really not much of a transition. So I'm ending the school year here as a music educator and music administrator. And so it's been 27 years in this building. And I am taking a new position in the district. And the space I'm in is going to be called the Move Up Academy,
Which is ironically in the basement.
which is in the basement. It's in the intermediate school, the 5-6 center.
Sweet facility.
It's a really nice facility. It's probably the nicest facility in the school besides the Performing Arts Center. But it's just across the bridge, literally across the bridge. And we are running a program there called Aspire. And Aspire is an alternative school for Concord High School students kind of on their last pass through high school. And they may be brought there because of discipline reasons, because of attendance reasons, academic reasons. And they're there to get credit recovery, but then also to graduate from high school. And there's a crew that will come in the morning. They stay for 3 hours. They do their work, and then there's a crew that comes in the afternoon. So I'll be there with a paraprofessional, another seasoned teacher from the high school, and an administrative assistant there. And we are academic coach, life coach, mentor, help get them through the, get them back on track. And the goal would be to get them back to high school, but to certainly graduate from high school. So it's called the Move Up Academy, but the program is called Aspire. And we're going to be using, you've heard of Apex.
Oh, yes, I have.
And Apex is a self-guided student computer program that they get their credits on, but we are getting rid of that. And we are going with a new program called Edmentum. And so I'll be learning a lot about that in the weeks and months to come.
Mm-hmm.
So helping to keep them accountable. So in retrospect, this job here as a music administrator, it kind of became apparent to me early on in my time here that the administration gig was really not hitting at my forte. And I felt that kind of early on. The teaching was still a good time. I taught jazz band and I taught one band class a day, but it just it wasn't hitting me right. And the flipping of that schedule and seeing kids twice a day instead of 6 times a day really was not a good fit for me, and I really did not thrive in it. Just got to a point where actually in the winter I just said I resigned, and I still kept the job, finished my duties, but I asked for a transfer and something different to do. So my job will be more of a traditional teacher schedule, no weekends, no nights, and just, I believe in the mission of the program, trying to help these kids out that are on their last pass through high school. But it will be different. I will not be teaching music. And so Jack and I have talked. We want to continue Chops, right?
Yes, the
We're go-
producer said yes.
Yeah, we're going to take the summer off, right?
Okay, yeah.
Or-
Sure, we can do whatever we want.
Oh, do we?
You're pretty free in the summer now.
This won't be a running theme.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Yeah. little Stevie boy will not be at band practice. So, yeah. And I just want to say, like, nothing is wrong as far as, like, problems with the administration.
No,
or
Steve
staff,
is not getting pushed out.
or
There's
no problem with the drama of the kids or the students.
Illegal anything.
No,
it's all clean.
It's
It's fine.
all on the, and it's basically Buddy here, Steve, not Jack, was really struggling with good mental health and to finding good mental health, and in the name especially anxiety/depression. I went through a pretty difficult span in January, February, March. That was I actually took a little leave from school and got some help, and have been kind of on the recovery train of coming back. But I've been very transparent with the students and the parents and the staff and the administration, and there's no like secrets. I told them what was going on. So, and I told them when I took a leave. So, and people have been very gracious about that. We've closed down the school year with some salutes to Mr. Peterson, and it's been very heartwarming, and the staff and the kids and parents have been very kind, administration. So I'll still be in the school district. Technically, I'll be a high school teacher. I'll be in a different building. So it's a new adventure, but Jack and I want to keep Chops going, and it would be a good way for us to keep in touch.
Yes.
And even though I'll be in a different system, not in the music system anymore, but, obviously we have a lot of commonality, and there's still teaching going on and student interaction. So
Steve's going to come clinic my bands.
Yes! I'll be a jazz band clinician.
And if you're a band director or a music teacher listening, you're thinking, well, are you guys still going to talk about music and kid? Yes. The podcast is going to stay the same.
Yes.
And Steve's like, well, I'm not going to know what's going on. I'm like, yes, you will. We talked about this beforehand. He's like, well, how am I going to know how to riff with you for all these things? I'm like, all the kids. You know how the rehearsals are going to go. You know that when we play Anchors Away, the last three notes are going to be way too loud. And some kid, when he snaps his horn down, his mouthpiece is going to fly 60 yards in front of him. And you probably know who the kid's going to be. I mean, this is teaching.
Maybe you can ask me advice.
Ask your advice.
Yeah, like on something that just went down in the marching band.
Oh yeah. Well, it'll be like callers calling in, but it's just me.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'll probably heard the question before, but the situation will be totally fresh. Right?
That's true. Yeah.
And then I can, we can talk about that.
So, it's been, if I may say this publicly.
Please say it publicly.
I can say whatever I want. Steve was my band director as a kid.
I remember you.
And he's like, that's why I looked familiar after all this time.
I remember that name.
So Steve was my band director as a kid, and things really turned around for me. Not turned around for me, but just really excelled.
On a bad path. You were headed nowhere.
It really excelled for me, when he taught me in music theory, in AP music theory, and in jazz band.
Your junior year.
My junior year. And then senior year, I got to be a little more involved in things as a leader. And then coming back to Concord, Steve was really intentional about mentoring me. And doing this after all these years with Steve, and we co-taught, and we still co-taught up to this year. We've co-taught every year. That's been a really, really, not just a fun journey, but a meaningful journey in our friendship, but professionally helping me grow a ton. And then doing this last Jazz Cafe together was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. And getting to see him be recognized as an outstanding educator, but also just as an outstanding human from many, many people through the night, and receive multiple standing ovations that was really cool to see.
It was cool. It was a nice night, and we were just talking before this that Jazz One, their last tune was an arrangement of Mac the Ninth, and then we had a vocal soloist, a school boy, come in and sing with us. But that's the same arrangement and tune that we played Jack's senior year, and so it was kind of full circle for that. But Jack is taking over Jazz 1 and Jazz 2, and his journey, we were just talking about that too, about how we got into the after school jazz band. Then he did after school and jazz 3, and then this year he did after school jazz 3, jazz 2, and the next year he's going to do 2 and 1, and it's just going to be a very smooth handoff. He's a part of the culture. He's not just there, but he is creating culture on his, adding to the culture, changing the culture of what he does as a teacher and a person, and then musically what his skill set is and what his interests are, and his relationship with the kids. So it's exciting to see that. That would be a very different handoff if we had a different person come in from out of district that had no history here. But you kind of know the flow, and probably most importantly know the culture of the jazz band, of what we've tried to create and what we've tried to hang on to. The jazz band has been a very special subculture of the band program, and it's grown. It's like quite a number of kids, like over 100 kids, and it's taken on its own identity. And as close as the marching band is to each other, and the bands are, and the pep band, then the jazz band has their own spin on things.
That's true, and I think those are some of the nicest kids in the school.
They are
some of the nicest kids. Well, like you came down yesterday to Jazz 2.
Yeah.
And there's a very kind student that sits in the front row that was retelling a story from the past. And the first time that story was told, it was just like a really good memory of that year and that band, just like
a
the
belly laugh
from
the
kids, and just like this. But I mean, it's like you have the opportunity with jazz bands to create such meaningful connections because there's 20 kids, and you see them all year, and we do not. I mean, we compete, but our year is not based on competing,
right.
And the success is not measured by trophies.
Right.
It's like measured by how you play and how you act and what the vibe is, and I think that like jazz band, the class, the ensemble is just so well set up for success.
Yes.
Based on what the ensemble is and what it wants to achieve.
Yes. Yeah. And Jack's very intentional about creating community in his classroom. So, it's not going to be like an abrupt shift, with his personality going in, and that a lot of those things will continue. And
most of the kids coming in to both bands are kids I taught this year.
Right,
so
exactly. And the top band, out of 20 kids, like 16 of them are graduating.
Yeah.
So there's 4 kids returning, and then a band that he had already is moving up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a really sweet deal. But you never know how it's going to go. Like 8 years when you came here, 8 years ago when you came here, like what your job description was then, and then like imagining how that was going to go, and just the progression. We were just kind of talking about how things were added to his plate.
Because I'll basically have the job that Steve had for a long time here.
Yes.
And it's a pretty sweet schedule.
It is. What is it, Jack? What is it?
2 jazz bands.
Woo.
2 concert bands / marching band. AP music theory.
Woo.
And class piano.
And that's a really good schedule.
That's fun.
And you get to be in the building all day.
Oh, I don't have to travel.
Don't have to travel.
Yes.
But 2 jazz bands. Well, you've done 2 jazz bands, but that's like really fun.
It is really fun. It's very
and
fun.
AP Theory is, an elective among all electives. It's kids that go in there that are into the music department. So band, orchestra, choir kids that we know that are well worn in these halls, and they come in and they get to do AP Theory.
Did I tell you an AP Theory student gave me a pair of socks with my face on them?
From this year?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That is awesome. A pair of socks with your face on it.
And they got me a shirt that says, "Let me cook."
Was it the same student?
I think they were both like class gifts.
Okay.
But like that they contributed for, but no, multiple students. That's pretty funny.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Those will make an appearance during marching band, I'm sure.
Yes. Let me cook.
Let me cook. Yeah. So it's and then many of you remember Mr. Brian Golden, who is the associate band director here, as well as the head of the junior high program. He is taking Steve's job,
Mm-hmm.
and then Nikki Naus, Matt Allman, Sam Surface, myself are still here, and then we have a new band director joining us coming in July.
Yes.
Yeah, so it'll be different without Steve, but I think Steve's going to still be around.
Yeah.
Well, he will be around because we're still doing Chops. So,
Yeah.
and most importantly, Chops is going to be thriving, and we're going to keep the TikToks and Reels coming. So that'll be a good time.
So now, well, but we do need to talk about if we're going to do it this summer. I don't know. I thought we were going to do it in the fall, but if
I don't know.
thinking
I
of the
mean,
summer?
I don't know. It's probably good to just do a few, take care of the listeners, right? We want to
Okay.
give them something, but I'm not set to a certain schedule.
Okay. Boy, some of those first episodes we did, like the first one was in my Menden in the backyard,
Oh yeah.
and we were eating goldfish, and the birds.
The birds were
they
so loud.
so
But we didn't know we
loud.
were doing with miking,
No.
not that we do now.
Yeah,
but
the first one was like done in a 3-season room, and then some of those outtakes in your house
oh, those were fun.
early on, where you go, "Hello, I'm Steve Peterson. I'm Jack Kinkle,"
Oh
"Gah!"
yeah,
and we
yeah,
just
yeah,
stopped.
yeah,
and we
like
had
the
nothing else
first
to say, and we just
TikTok.
like laughed.
Gosh, that was funny.
Did some of those Jim Halpert outtakes
Oh,
in your living room with
Yeah,
with
yeah.
you staring at the camera.
Yeah.
Because in those days we used
Oh.
to do 2 cameras.
oh, you told the story like this school be bugging. That's funny. Man, we think we're pretty funny. I hope other people do too.
Yeah, those early on ones were those are pretty fun. I think those episodes were too long though.
Yeah, we
We are like over an hour.
yeah, we're not that funny to be
No.
talking for an hour
No.
or meaningful. Yeah. Okay, this was kind of funny, but we just did our closing ceremonies in the school auditorium. So we have like the entire district staff in that one
Yeah,
room,
yeah.
and the superintendent's leading it. And we honor the retirees, and he opened with I get nervous to talk in front of you guys every time, and my wife just told me try not to be funny. And then I actually thought he was pretty funny for like a lot of it. I mean, he probably wasn't trying to,
Yeah.
but like he had some pretty good moments up there. That was a good time. I've laughed more in this
Well,
one than I have in the past.
And his last name is Funston. Our superintendent of schools at Concord is Dan Funston, and he said, "Well, I have to be funny. It's in my name." Then took everybody a second. Yeah,
The communal
he was-
groan.
he was rolling with it. He kind of kept things going. He had little one-liners here and there that
Yeah,
were
yeah,
not scripted that
No.
I thought landed well.
Yeah, he was like talking about a retiree, and he's like, "Yeah, our retirement. Her. Yeah, it's not our retirement plans. We're
We're
not
not-
that close."
He put his arm around her. Was like, "We're really not together." Yeah, it was. That was good.
That was good. Yeah, because everyone, I appreciate the levity of it because I'm sure many people are like, "Can I go home for the summer now?"
Yes.
But it was good use of time. So yeah, we're at school. All we have to do is sign our grade verifications, which are in our mailboxes now. We're good to go for that. We got to make sure our kids deserve the grade they get, sign off on it, and then we're gonna go get pizza and celebrate.
Yeah, we are. End of
Steve.
school. And the end of school.
And the end of school. Yeah,
And
we're
then
definitely celebrating. The
You
end
don't
of
have anything tonight, this afternoon.
school.
What's going to be the first thing you do when you get home? You're going to mow your yard.
No, dude, I scalped it.
I
Remember,
know, but-
I have yard sadness. Got so sad. No, I don't think I'm gonna do much of anything.
You're going to watch a World War II documentary? You're not
Ever-
to that level.
You ever been to a Turkish prison? That's what I thought you were doing.
No. I was going like,
I thought you were doing that.
no, I thought, yeah.
No, I don't. I don't know. I might go outside. I found out Goshen College has like a 3-hole golf course that's free. You can just walk and play whenever you want. It's like
Are
a
you gonna do
2-minute drive. Might do that today.
Okay.
We'll see. Just get out, enjoy the weather, and do that. Are you gonna watch a World War II documentary?
I might, or my son is home for another week. We might watch like 300.
This is Sparta. That's 300, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's,
Gosh.
yeah. We were supposed to watch it last Saturday morning, both sons, but the 3 of us slept in till like 11:30, so it was like no movies. But I don't know, probably do something with Jacob, and but I might just sit. I might build a fire in the backyard and just sit.
Yeah.
Just sit. I don't know.
Wait, can I ask a dumb question? This is sad. I need to ask a dumb question. How do you put out your fires?
Sometimes I don't. I'm that guy. I put it right next to the house.
They just burn all night
Yeah,
or smolder.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Sometimes I don't. It's a portable thing a portable pit that I have on the patio. That's like bricks.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Not that big.
I know. I've seen it. I know what it looks like.
Earlier in the season, I put it in the yard. Like I move it around, but when I get the fires too hot, it just it burns my grass.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's taken me a while to learn that, but so I just like to sit out there and putz with the fire and smell it and feel it. But then, like the last time I had it out in the patio, I did take a bucket of water and smash it and put it out and stirred it up and went Boy Scout on it.
And that's fine if you do water. That's not bad for anything.
It's fine.
Okay.
And then it drips out like sooty, ashy mess onto the pavement. But
is that bad if it gets in the grass? The sooty, ashy stuff.
Yeah, that's not good.
Okay, then
it's too hot.
Okay. My first year I lived in the house, it
Yeah.
came with a fire pit, like a one on wheels, and I swear some ember dropped down to the ground, and then it was smoldering for like a week. And I looked at that in my newly moved in home. I was like, I wonder if I should do something about that. And I'll be like, it's probably fine. And then every day when I came home, it was smoking in the grass.
Did it? So it kind of burned out your grass a little bit?
Yeah, I made mistakes.
Yeah.
I made mistakes, so I'm afraid to use the fire pit now. And the wheels kind of melted. Shocking.
But I think those ones with the wheels, though, are good because they sit up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
The other thing you could do is just put some bricks down temporarily.
Oh, there you go. But see, the other thing is I like the smell of smoke.
Yeah.
I do not like smelling like smoke.
Right.
And you have to shower.
Yes.
It's the only way to get that out. And it gets in your hair. That's just
Agreed. So usually if I do it, I'm in for the night.
Yeah.
And then I shower before bed so I don't smell like old hickory, and so yeah, that's important. We could also do some lawn care support groups.
For me, I need the support.
I mean, Buddy's having a hard time, okay?
I just mowed, and shocking that the last 2 weeks have been super busy, so my grass got super high, and I don't know much about my mower, but I probably should have set the height up a little bit. I did not. It looks like just a fire-eating dragon just bit into the grass. There's circles. I'm just gosh darn it. This was the year, man, I fertilized for the first time. I was like, this is great. My yard looks awesome. I got it. I figured it out.
Do you hear the passion in this man's
Do you
voice?
hear my pain? I was the thing I was looking forward to was man, I'm going to take care of the yard. I'm going to sit in the yard this summer. And now school's out. And my yard's help me, save me, water.
You just have to find the bright spot in your yard and
just sit there, just put on blinders and
my
just look at
front
that.
yard looks horrible, so I don't really hang out my front yard. I go to the backyard. But yeah, we can have some share time and talk about lawn updates and
Okay, final thing we should talk about before we go sign verifications, because I need meaningful TikToks, not just the stupid ones. We should talk about the sight reading thing. I don't know if we talked about that at the end of the year, but
Jack, I don't think there's a market for this, but there should be, because
maybe they should write in. We could put a poll. Should CHOP start a Teachers Pay Teachers account?
That would
Here's
be good.
what you could get.
So in the last 2 weeks of school, when things are slowing down, the concert band has established a tradition of sight reading, but that's not that unusual to sight read at the end of the year. But Jack has made a collection, I believe, of 7.
I think we're at 7.
7 tunes.
This is sweet.
That are all originals. They're not arrangements.
Okay, you're making this sound way better than what it actually is.
It's cool. I think you're underplaying.
We're not saying this to flex. We're saying this because it's
we're flexing. We're flexing. I think this has great potential. He wrote 7 band tunes that are probably at a beginning band level.
Yeah.
And
grade 1 to 0.5. 0.5 to 1.
Okay. And so they're great reading. They're great fun. And they're in different styles. They're fanfares. There's marches. There's blues. There's a dance party. Right?
Yes.
But
yes.
So, and then you've had fun making those.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah, and I don't spend a lot of time
No,
doing
he
it.
doesn't.
It's less than an hour on
Right,
each one.
right. And so he's got enough skills and enough
copy paste
ideas. But then the other really cool thing is it's all digital, so he just puts it on our class Canvas page, the platform for our school.
That's true. That is slick.
And then so the kids bring their iPad to class, and then they read their parts. So that's there.
No prep.
There's no prep in that. You don't have to copy anything. But then the genius behind it is that every one of those songs has a title that relates to a story between the two of us.
This is true. And I think the reason it started was they're 2 years old now, some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't tell the kids the story until after they play it. So there's like a little bit of mystery build up as they go. But I think it started with Spinny Chair Blues.
Yes.
I think that was the OG. Because Steve, I don't know if we told this story on the podcast, but Steve has a dog named Oliver, and Oliver is a pretty large Labradoodle.
Yeah.
And Steve came into school, and he's like, you just had to tell all the kids because it was so funny, right? Like you told the kids in your bands, and you're like, guys, you're not going to believe this. So can you give us like the Reader's Digest short version?
Okay. Dogs are not supposed to have chocolate. And my son, who was in high school at the time, had his buddies over on a Saturday night.
What could go wrong?
And one of them brought a plate of brownies, but they were like double fudge mega chocolate brownies, right? And the boys, the adults went to bed, and the boys were still downstairs hanging out. And they put the brownies on top of the microwave on a plastic or paper dish, right? So on the counter on top of the microwave. And Oliver got into him and like ate the whole plate. Sad because those were like really good brownies, but more importantly, sad because the dog ate so much rich
like
chocolate.
A lethal dose.
So I come downstairs. The boys are like, yeah, he just ate. I heard the commotion, and I was like, oh, no. So we took Oliver outside, and we took out an office chair, and we've been told this trick by the vet. Some of you know this, but you give your dog hydrogen peroxide, force it down his gullet, and then you sit in an office chair, and you hold him spinning like his back to you so he's facing out, and you spin around in the chair until the dog gets sick and then coughs up the brownies. But I was on the chair for a while spinning Oliver. And then Jacob, my son, was on the chair for a while spinning Oliver. And Oliver, I mean, he got a little gaggy, but he didn't let go of everything. And then my son's friend, who is quite large and muscular, picked up Oliver just by himself and spun him really fast in the driveway. And so this is like 11 o'clock at night. It's dark outside.
Your neighbors are like,
yeah, what is going on? This
on?
pack of boys out there watching this going down. And so he just whipped him around for like 20 seconds. And then he sat Oliver down, and Oliver just kind of like fell over because he couldn't stand up. And then he went over to the grass and let all the brownies go. Let them all back up. And then we had to convince him not to eat them. He wanted to re-ingest it.
They want to go back.
They want to go back and re-experience the brownies. And so that story, was sad but kind of funny, very funny. And then Jack made a song called Spinny Chair Blues that was just a blues tune, but the title.
And they're all of the same vein.
Yes.
And most of the stories are from Steve's life.
Yeah.
Professionally or personal or whatever, and the kids, like a lot of them now know the story.
Yes.
And it's been a good time because they play the tunes and understand. So there's 7 of them, and at the end of the year, we're always kind of looking for things to do after May 12th, which is our band festival concert. So there is some productivity going on in terms of like
sight reading.
Well, I was going to say, like, logistically, we have to do stuff other than sight read. Like we just took our band out to spray paint the dots on the practice field.
Right.
Like, needed to be done. Is it educational? Debatable, but it's not like playing.
Right.
And then we had to, we took some kids to test some instruments in the storage room.
Right.
We took them to tag instruments, so there's that kind of stuff. But then you're still got time you need to play. So now the kids know the stories, they know the songs, and they're like looking forward to this part of the year because they can bring them back and play. And many teachers in the world including myself in some moments, like are not. It's not always like, oh, we get to do this at the end of the year, right? But this class, it's like we get to do this.
Yes.
And they're asking about it. So now there's some there's some Steve Peterson lore
Yeah.
going on in the band.
There's some traditions and some stories.
So Steve suggested, like, Jack, you could put this on Teachers Pay Teachers, write out the stories, and sell them. And people could have their lessons planned for the end of their year in concert band, right? They just
read these stories.
Or
we can make them a podcast and sell it as an audio file.
Oh, there you go.
Right?
Yeah, put it. We can make a Patreon. Yeah. Do some
right.
lock.
Yeah.
There you go. First one's free. You got Spinny Chair Blues.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't have a website, but we could post Spinny Chair Blues out there if you guys want it. There's just no percussion parts. That's the bummer. But they can just have them play eighth notes. Just boom chick, whatever you want. It's fine. Yeah. So that's what we've done. So the other
We got
titles.
7 tunes though.
I have to
They're
think
like
of the other ones.
I think they're appropriate to be published, and I'm telling Jack that he should publish those and at least make $20.
Darnell's Dance. That's another one. We've talked about Darnell on this podcast.
Darnell's Dance.
Fanfare for Big Boy Pants.
No.
I don't think that one's made it on the podcast, has
No.
it? That's a funny one.
Houston,
Steve
we have
story.
a problem.
That's definitely not been on the podcast. That's funny. Ode to Houston.
Ode to Houston.
That has some nice. I was actually kind of surprised the kids sounded nice on that.
They did.
I heard that. I was
think
like,
it's
huh.
well scored.
There's some fun harmonies that 5 to 6 gets you every time.
March
March for a Mouse.
for a Mouse.
And there are multiple mice stories that have come up in the last few
you
years.
have a mouse story. Yes.
And we had the shared mouse story.
Yes, and you had a mouse story.
Yeah, and my toaster mouse story.
Yes.
Then the other two are. I just wrote one called Need a Read. That was from last year. That's I guess probably one more of my stories, but
Yeah.
you were there.
Yeah.
And then the one I just did was High Stakes.
Oh wow. Yeah, Jack's got some banger stories in there. Maybe
Those are some good
we can
stories.
unfold those over the season.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't know. Reach out to us, DM us on some app if you want. If you want a
they're
little bit of that.
You could play those tunes at a beginning band concert, and if nobody knew the story of them, you'd think they were just like regular band tunes.
Yeah, you
They're
would
fun.
know.
They're
Minus percussion, that's all
Right.
they need. So that's what we've been doing in the young band, and it's been pretty fun, and they appreciate the stories.
Okay, so we're back.
We're back. We're not leaving you.
We're
Steve's
not.
Steve's here. Steve's back. The funny is back in the podcast. Don't worry.
We're all back.
Back.
The gang's back together
That's right.
until we're not.
That's right. So we're gonna go sign some paperwork,
Yep.
and then we're gonna
Go get
out of here and
pizza.
get pizza and not come back for a little bit. So teachers out there, congratulations, you made it through the gauntlet.
Sorry for those people that teach in Michigan. They have like another week. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but they don't start until it's like September
I
3rd.
know,
Those
I know. I
crazy
don't even think
loons.
Michigan goes to school 180 days.
Oh, well, basically the entire month of January and February are snow days for them. Every time I look at the news, we get like an inch of snow over here, and I'm like, Concord, nothing. Constantine, closed for the next 6 weeks. Like, okay.
Closed until further
Closed
notice.
until further notice. Well, it's Lake effect. Just whatever. You learn all you want. You do whatever.
You can tell, yeah, we're back here, and we're feeling a little slap happy because it's the end of school, and we're kind of running on fumes.
Yeah, we
But
are.
follow us on socials, Instagram and YouTube, and like us, and leave us a nice review, and tell us if you're happy we're back. So, for Steve Peterson,
And Jack Hinkle.
we're out of
See
here.
ya.